And we are on. Good to see you guys today. Happy Monday. Today, what we're going to be talking about is how to stop suppressing your emotions. Before we get into that, you guys know what time it is? Story time. Get ready, get relaxed, get caffeinated. Because here we go. So yeah, we're talking about how to stop suppressing your emotions. So based on my experience and based on what I've seen around me in my own life is that we live in a very an emotion-filled society now, where everything's about how to express your emotions. So why am I making a video about people suppressing their emotion if we live in a world now where everyone's pushed and encouraged to talk about your feelings and talk about your emotions and to express yourself all the time? Well, maybe for some people that's not always the case, that they get pushed and encouraged to talk about things that are bothering them. But I think one mistake that we always seem to make is we set the same rules for men and women, for boys and girls. We tell boys and girls and men and women to express your emotions, be emotive, show your emotions, talk. And what people fail to realize is that men and women are different. We're not all the same, and we express and process our emotions differently. When a woman or little girl is upset and needs to talk about something that's bothering them, that's exactly what they need to do. They need to talk and communicate what's bothering them. Men, on the other hand, to a certain extent, they should be talking about it. But I know for me as a man, and I know for my other male friends, that when something's bothering us, and then when we start communicating about what's bothering us, but we communicate about that issue too long, we start getting aggravated, we start getting irritated, we start getting annoyed that we're still hung up and that we're still stuck on this situation. That men will process their emotions differently and be able to express their emotions differently based on action, based on activities, based on physicality. Instead of communicating and talking to your male friends of what's bothering you, sometimes just going out camping and going fishing together, or going to the gym and working out is a better emotional outlet for men. And when men get told constantly to talk and communicate their emotions, yes, to a certain extent they should, and they will, but at a certain point, men need to stop talking and just go out and do something. Go take action. Go do something with your friends. Move your body. Do something. Women, on the other hand, they get more connected by communicating, by talking together, sitting at a bar across from each other and communicating for 2-3 hours. I know for me and my male friends, if I have an issue and I have a problem and I'm sitting across one of my male friends for 2-3 hours in a bar talking about the same thing, it gets tiring. It's like, all right, let's move on to this. Let's move on to the next thing. We've talked about what we need to talk about. Let's go do something. Let's go take action. Let's go do some sort of activity. We like to think that the same set of rules when it comes to expressing yourself and being emotive for men and women, but there aren't. There shouldn't be the same set of rules, because men and women are different, and they will process their feelings and process their emotions differently. Is it necessarily a good thing for a man to be always encouraged to talk and express and talk what's bothering them? That's the issue when men and boys get conditioned to always do that and talk about what's bothering them. They get conditioned that doing those things are okay, and they should be okay. The issue is, and the problem occurs when men are overly conditioned of talking about what's bothering them and talking about their feelings, and then they lose value in other people's point of view as a man. They lose value as a man when they're talking too much, when they're expressing themselves too much. Or men can be a little more productive by doing some sort of physical activity, doing something with their bodies to be able to not suppress themselves. You don't want to be suppressing, but expressing yourself in a different way. There are different forms of emotional expression. And you can do that through talking, or you can do that through physical activity. And men will typically respond much better and be a lot healthier and be more productive men when they can express themselves emotionally through physicality, through activities, more than talking. It's good to have a great healthy balance of both, but for men, you need to take a little more action and more like physical activity than the talking. For women, it's the reverse. It's the more communication aspect of talking about your emotions and then going out and doing a physical activity. Where typically men and their male friends like to go and do things together. Men will bond together one-on-one by doing a physical activity than talking and communicating in a bar or coffee shop together for 2-3 hours. But having some sort of activity. I always use like going to the gym or fishing or camping together as a great male bonding activity. But I'm sure there's some people out there that are told, or we're told that they're younger, that your emotions are bad, your feelings are bad, and you shouldn't be expressing them, and just put on a happy smile on your face and just go about your day. And forget about how you're feeling internally. Just be happy at what you have and just go do what you gotta do. That's not the healthiest strategy either, because when people do have problems and they do have anger and they do have aggression, you can't just let it sit there and fester, because it's going to come out. It has to come out, whether it's talking, communicating, or if it's coming out in physicality. And I've heard this before on YouTube channels I've listened to before, that when it comes to men expressing their emotions in very unhealthy ways or very violent ways, very destructive ways, very sometimes disturbing ways, that's harmful to them and harmful to others, that what the immediate response to that is, oh well, if that guy just had an opportunity to talk about his feeling, talk about his emotions, talk about what's bothering him, then he wouldn't have done something like that. Then he would be able to let his emotions go. Well, whatever that violent act was that man did, that violent act was the emotion. That was a man expressing his emotions. He was just doing it in a very unhealthy, very destructive way. But that is him expressing himself. Just men and women express themselves differently. That men don't get the same pleasure or the same, I guess, mental therapeutic help from communicating than women do. They respond to it very differently. When men do things that are violent because they didn't have the opportunity to express and talk about their emotions, it's not necessarily the case. It's just their outlet for expressing their emotion isn't what they need. They need that physical outlet. Especially when we're men and we have testosterone, flowing through our bodies. We're physical beings. We're meant to be hunters. We're meant to be warriors. We're meant to be combative, doing physical things. And we have all that testosterone flowing through our body, and with all that pent-up anger, doesn't it feel good going to a 2-hour boxing class and you let all your frustrations out, and you walk out of that boxing class and you feel amazing. You feel incredible because you got a spike in your testosterone. All that frustration, you let it out. And for men, letting their emotions out physically is always much beneficial than letting it out verbally. And that's when we communicate to our young boys all the time. Well, we'll just tell the boys to talk and express themselves. Yes, but they also need to let themselves go physically in a very healthy physical manner. Such as, if you're a young boy, sports, karate, it's wrestling, stuff like that. The boys need that physical bond with their father, where they're play fighting, they're horsing around, they're having wrestling matches at home, and that's part of male bonding. That's how little boys bond with their fathers. That's how being able to express a man's emotions is more beneficial through physicality than being verbally. And the problem occurs when men get conditioned by the same means as women do, by talking about their emotions and not suppressing and talking about it. Women get more out of it by verbally expressing themselves. Men get it out more physical. So it's always good to have that balance in both. And when it comes to suppressing your emotions and expressing your emotions, men and women are different, and they will not respond to it the exact same way. And that's why a lot of men, a lot of boys end up having a lot of big emotional outbursts. No, if you just had a chance to talk about it. No, if he just had a chance to let his emotions go in a more male, healthy way through physicality. Healthy physicality, that is. I want to make that point. It's got to be healthy physicality. But you don't want to be suppressing that. You need to let it out by just sitting and letting that emotion fester. It's going to come out sooner or later. It doesn't matter. I've had many times when I was younger sitting at home and being frustrated, and then I'm frustrated, so I agreed to relax, and I'm gonna play my video games and just relax and get over this emotion. And just sitting on the couch and playing the video game while my head is spinning and I'm frustrated and you get full of anxiety, you're full of anger. Sitting there and watching the screen makes it worse. You need a physical outlet. It's like even getting up, putting your headphones on, going for a run, going for a walk, going to box class, doing something physical and moving makes men feel better. The whole talking aspect of expressing your emotions varies from person to person, and it's always different for men and women. We don't respond to it, and we don't process and don't interpret our emotions in the exact same way. That's why different rules need to be applied for a healthy man, a healthy woman, a healthy boy, and a healthy girl. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Busy day today, so this video felt very rushed to me. It's just kind of putting things together at the last minute. Felt a little unprepared for this one, but hope it went well. I hope this video was of value to you. If you liked it, smash like button, subscribe, do the whole deal. You can watch past book reviews. You can watch past videos I made at the Storytime show. And I will see you all on Friday. And on Friday we'll be doing a different kind of video. I will be doing a review of the show 13 Reasons Why. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Netflix, 4 seasons in. I believe it was just the last season that they just wrapped. But I will be doing a video based on that, pros and cons of a show like 13 Reasons Why, and why it's a great show, but not so a great show. But I'll be going through different reasons why on 13 Reasons Why. And I will see you all in another life. Have a great Monday, and I will see you on Friday. Have a good one. Bye.